Hey, good Thursday morning, everybody, and welcome to 22nd Street Landing, beautiful San Pedro, California. You're looking at the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel studio right here at 22nd Street. We're so fortunate to be here. I know you think you're looking at me here at 22nd Street. Well, you are, but I'm actually out on the Apollo on a Friedman Adventures two-day trip, shooting some great video and content for all of you. However, I wanted to stop in and say hello to you this morning, give you what I've been able to ascertain before our departure about fishing in general, and kind of get you up to speed on some other stuff, and then have a nice tutorial at the end of today's morning briefing for each and every one of you. First of all, if you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll tell you, it makes a big difference if you tick that little bell, because that little bell will remind you when we have new content available. Man, it is so great. I have talked to so many people who are coming on board with Friedman Adventures. Of course, we have the Endeavor, Ventura Harbor, Sport Fishing, the Malahini, the Horizon. We've got Fish Taco Chronicle magazines, 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, the Pursuit, the Freedom. So many folks are seeing exactly how powerful we have become. And we've become that way because of all of you. It means so much to me, and I can't thank you enough. All right, let me take you down and talk about the bluefin tuna situation. And, you know, remember, I'm out on a boat, so things change overnight. I'm not going to be able to give you the overnight report today. The next time I will be back here on the beach with you in Surfside, California, will be Saturday morning. And then I will have all the current stuff one more time again. So that bluefin bite's been really difficult. And if we had to take a guess or throw a dart or come up with some explanation as to why they're not biting, it would have to be water temperature, in my estimation. But I could be all wet. I mean, it's so complicated. There's moon phases and current and water temperatures and bait availability and just so many other factors that kick these things into bite or give them lockjaw. And right now, they have had lockjaw, no question about it. The one thing, however, is that is so encouraging. Number one, they are big. There's a lot of that 150 to 200 plus pound bluefin tuna around, which means you need to bring those 2-speed reels. That makes all the difference in the world. 100 pound, 130 pound. That is going to really do you well if you fish that heavier stuff. And at night, you're fishing a 300 to 450 gram jig. We love the Daiwa. Sakanas are good. The SK jigs at night are what you want to use. Sakanas during the daytime. But you can use whatever jig you like. Rip rollers have been working really well. Whatever it is that floats your boat and you have had success with. Because as Brian Wynn will tell you, you need to have confidence when you do this. So when you have confidence, you catch more fish. Not exactly sure how that works, but make sure you have that. So the fish are big, number one. And number two, they are seeing copious amounts of bluefin tuna. You saw that meter reading the other day on the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego. It was plugged with fish. And the Royal Star the other night had 11 fish. They were smaller, 25 to 30 pound bluefin tuna, but a signal, a sign that perhaps this thing's going to kick into gear. Who knows? On the Apollo, we are wide open to everything. We might be going bluefin tuna fishing. We might be catching halibut. We might be catching white sea bass, rockfish. You just don't know. Things are that volatile. It is that kind of a season so far. So that's where we stand right now. We'll see how that all plays out. Up and down the coast, great rock fishing continuing right now. We've seen outstanding rock fishing down out of San Diego and elsewhere. You know, of course, all the guys that are fishing rockfish, I don't go through every score. It gets a little boring when, you know, this guy had 180 rockfish, this guy had. But it's been really steady. Now, we do have some wind, and we're going to be dealing with it on our Apollo trip this morning. I'm sure Thursday morning, we're getting bumped around a little bit, but hopefully we're getting bumped around and catching a bunch of halibut, because the halibut fishing has been phenomenal, as you well know. The Endeavor the other day had, I think, 40 sea bass and 25 halibut up there out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing. I'll tell you what, Tucker McCombs does such a great job out there. I love fishing with that guy. I love his crew. Everything about Ventura Harbor, Sal up in the ticket office. Everybody is so wonderful. And then you have that Kids Fish Free thing on Sundays on board the Californian. A paid adult, kids 12 and under, go for free. That's a great thing. And Cody Rogers on the Island Spirit, he does a great job also. You got the Pacific Eagle, Pacific Dawn. It's a great place to fish. They've had some phenomenal fishing on both sea bass and halibut up there in that neck of the woods. Who knows? We could find ourselves up there. We're on a 2-day trip. We'll see how that all plays out. The Freedom 25 halibut on their most recent trip. Gorgeous fish, just really cranking it. You should think about that Thursday night trip tonight. Actually, a day and a half trip on board the Freedom out of 22nd Street Landing. They're light right now, but if you jump on that thing, man, I'm telling you, that fish, that halibut has been on the chew, and we'll have them all rounded up for you. You'll see us out there probably. Come rolling by with Tina Valentine and give us a wave hello, or Trevor Downing, either one of those two guys or both of them. It's always a pleasure to see them. So that is a trip that's available to you. I should mention to you also the Amigo, one of the finest boats here. Mark Paisano Jr. does such a fantastic job. I love fishing with Mark. You know, his dad's just an outstanding person, one hell of a fisherman, and Mark is following in his footsteps. Amigo has a rare trip because they get chartered up for the rest of the season. One-day trip leaving Sunday night. And, of course, besides Mark and the great crew, you got Chef Jason, the life of the party, and he will create some culinary masterpieces for you. Of that, I am sure. That'll be a one-day trip. Catalina, the Pursuit, has been cranking some yellows at 15. They had a big sea bass at 3 halibut the other day. They've been on it. It's kind of inconsistent out there, but it's steady enough where you got a very good chance. I mean, the probabilities of a sea bass or a yellowtail bite over there are starting to move up all the time, because as that water warms, that's those feed get their metabolism moving, and that's when they get on the bite. San Clemente Island, boats like the Thunderbird, they've been picking off a few nice yellows out there, sometimes some halibut. They've also been able to take care of everybody's rockfish needs. The Fury out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, same kind of a situation. They've had some really excellent fishing there. So that kind of rounds up exactly what has been going on, and then we'll see where it goes. I'll be back on Friday morning, and then I'll be back Saturday morning down in Surfside with the very latest for you all. All right, I got something else for you. Don't you dare go anywhere. Stay tuned for that. And, of course, I'll keep you in touch with all the very, very latest as I get back on Saturday morning. That's going to be a lot of fun. Another morning briefing, however, on Friday morning. You're going to want to check that out. I'll have another surprise for you all. Have a great day. It is always great spending time with you. Hey, did I say it's time for the morning briefing? I didn't say it. It's time to say goodbye from the morning briefing. I'm all discombobulated for some reason here. I guess because I'm actually not here. I'm out on the Apollo. Hey, have a great one. Hit that like button. We deeply appreciate all your great support. Thanks to all the sponsors who are contacting me, coming on board with Friedman Adventures. I'll tell you, our stats are soaring sky high. One TikTok post, just one, had 3.8 million views. Just one. And we're up over 6 million views on our social media and cruising along because of all of you. Have a great one, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow morning with another update. Keep your fingers crossed that we're catching them on board the Apollo, and I hope to see you really, really soon.
You caught that big old halibut on what? What did you catch him on? On the smallest rod. Put a little ass anchovy on his rod, and he hooked the big old halibut.
What a memorable moment for 6-year-old Juan Serrano, who caught this nearly 22-pound halibut fishing with a Daiwa BG 2520-pound test and the smallest anchovy his dad could find. Congratulations, Juan and everyone. Happy Memorial Day, my friends. It's Philip here from Friedman Adventures, and this has to be one of the best halibut years I've ever seen, and I've been around for a while. Incredible halibut fishing from San Diego all the way up to the Channel Islands, up to San Francisco for that matter. In fact, we just heard from the Pride out of 22nd Street Landing. Jolene Thompson was on that trip. 40 halibut, 15 yellowtail, 1 white sea bass, and we are seeing more and more scores like that every single day. And we've already heard from several boats here on this beautiful Memorial Day weekend, and they're catching more halibut. Of course, there's lots more, and that's a good reason for you to subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel right now. How are you?
Very good,
Man.
very good.
You have school supplies, medical supplies, so much more. Tell everybody out there what it is you brought, and we're going to get across the border to Mexico.
So what we're bringing to Mexico are a bunch of medical supplies, first aid kits, bandages, lidocaine patches.
Oh my God.
Stuff that the pangaritas will definitely need. right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And for their kids, we brought a whole bunch of school supplies. I mean, boxes of school supplies for them.
It's 22nd Street Landing, the Independence.
Yep.
Those guys let me make there's always 100 bags of clothing and it's in their way. Never complain. It's nice to see the fishing community coming together and doing these great things across the border.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick.
You're very welcome.
Could I get a hug again?
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. Appreciate everything you're doing.
You're very welcome.
Another great day at 22nd Street Landing. Thanks to Patrick Avellino and the Manning family for making dreams come out this unusual creature that washed up in front of Louis Prieto's house in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. Dr. Gwen Goodman-Lowe from California State University at Long Beach says it's either a dwarf or pygmy sperm whale. Hard to tell from the angle. Extremely rare for these waters and rarely seen at sea. Most of what knowledge we have about these creatures comes from specimens that have washed ashore.
Come on, bounce it! Ah, don't hit me! Jesus Christ! Oh, I love it! Fucking had to get out of there. Fuck, I was running away. Oh, no. Good. All right, we're getting a little bit more weather now.